Hello, Team Vikings. Mrs. Buck here again to talk about week 8. So, in week 7, you did some work with 3 different topics, which were school uniforms, backpacks in middle school, and year round schooling. And you should have highlighted one of those columns that you are choosing to move forward with. So, you're going to need that topic in mind. If you don't remember which one you picked, then obviously you can go back to week 7 and see which you chose. Okay. So, you are going to move forward with that topic, and this week you are going to complete a graphic organizer in preparation for writing about your topic. So, day one, Monday, hopefully you're listening to this on Tuesday. You did not have school yesterday. If you are listening it today on Monday, you only have really 4 days of work. Okay, so the template that you're going to use to fill out your argumentative topic work will look like this. Okay. You will be able to click right into the boxes and type in the information to support the topic that you chose. Okay. So you'll type in your topic, who your audience is, and what your claim is going to be. Remember, the claim should not start with yes or no. It should be a simple statement with no explanation, because down here is where you will give the reasoning and the explanations for what you're using to support the claim that you have made about your topic. And then lastly, the conclusion. Okay. Don't worry about paragraphs right now. We'll talk about that next week. You're going to have the ability to create 1 to 3 paragraphs, well written paragraphs, and that is going to be up to you how to construct them. But I will go over in that with more detail next week of how you can accomplish between 1 and 3 paragraphs. Okay. So, what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to go through an actual example so you know what my expectations are and how you can fill out your graphic organizer with your given topic. Okay. So, I chose a different topic, obviously, not one of the 3. Um, so that you can think independently. But this is a relatable topic that you, I'm sure, have all thought about even before you have gotten your Chromebooks. Okay. So the topic that I'm using for my organizer is cell phones in school classrooms. The audience that I would be approaching are teachers and administration because um, basically, without having an opinionated stance or using opinionated words, I would like to convince these specific people, this audience, that cell phones should be allowed in the classroom. And that is exactly what my claim would be. Cell phones should be allowed in the classroom. Now, this is what will develop your introduction, which again, we'll talk about next week, but this is kind of simplified what you need basically, and we'll fill in some other stuff when you actually create your introduction. Okay, so the first reason to support why cell phones should be allowed in the classroom is cell phones prepare students for the workplace. Okay, so that's my reason. My evidence is different than the reason. So the evidence is students would be able to check email and messages. They can contact parents and teachers at all times, and students would be able to access news, current events, and updates. So this is just evidence, fact based evidence to go along with my reason. And then to explain it, I would say something like having access to a cell phone will allow students to be more effective communicators and more informed citizens. So, this explanation supports all of this information that I typed in for my reasoning and my evidence. You'll notice that what I said here in my explanation is not a repeat of anything. This is the out of the box thinking that I've been talking about and reminding you about. It's something different than I've already said, and it supports my claim and it explains why this evidence supports my claim. Okay. Reason number 2, cell phones in the classroom teach responsibility. So the evidence to back that up is students learn to use them for the right reasons and not to play games and text friends. Students also learn how to follow the rules and guidelines the teachers put in place. And then lastly, students could learn also how to put their phone in sleep mode. And if teachers would ask, they would be willing to have their cell phone collected if there was a test or an assessment. So, factual evidence that goes along with my reason. Now, the explanation to explain why this evidence supports my claim of cell phones being allowed in the classroom is that students will have the opportunity to learn how to use a device at appropriate times, preparing them for real world experiences. Again, I didn't repeat anything that I've already said here. This is the out of box thinking that explains why my evidence supports my claim. Also, I want to draw attention to, you notice that I inserted bullet points in here. They're not grammatically correct, complete sentences. I didn't necessarily use punctuation all the time. Remember, this is a graphic organizer. It does not have to be word for word what your paragraph, what your essay is going to say. It's just a place for you to start brainstorming your thinking, collect your thoughts, organize your thoughts. Okay? All right, now reason number 3 is optional. Um, I chose to put it in to make my argument stronger, but it's up to you. If you're struggling to come up with a reason and you're kind of stretching to find one, then don't worry about it. But if you have a reason that is strong that will support your claim, then go for it. Include it, okay? So, cell phones in the classroom provide access to learning tools, evidence, research. Students can research necessary material for classes quickly. Students would be able to post opinions about discussion topics. And then also, they cell phones have learning applications for studying and for students with specific learning disabilities. So again, all factual evidence. Now my explanation. When students use tools they feel more comfortable with, they are more likely to be focused and be successful. So again, this explanation is an extension of the evidence that I put here, and it explains how this evidence supports why cell phones should be allowed in classrooms. Okay. So those are all my reasons. I've given explanations. Then obviously I'm going to need a conclusion. So you're going to need that transition sentence. So something I quickly came up with was often students are denied access to cell phones because it causes too many headaches in the classroom. So then I would reiterate the 3 reasons that were previously stated, but saying them in a different way. And this is something that should not be unfamiliar to you. We talk about this all the time in the conclusion. You need to say things, restate things, but say them in a different way. So, reason number 1 teaches important skills to enable connections that will prepare them for the workplace. Restating reason number 2, management skills that will transfer to real life experiences. And then restating reason 3, instant access to tools that promote positive outcomes. So I use different language, different vocabulary, but it means the same thing as I had above, but to sound less repetitive. And then lastly, you want to leave your audience with a strong closing statement to give that one last zing of why your claim is the claim to side with. Cell phones can play a critical role in the education of students, which will prepare them for future endeavors. Okay, so I've completed this entire template, this entire graphic organizer. That is your goal for this week. Again, if you have questions, concerns, please feel free to reach out to me, email, attend office hours. I am there. Just pop right in and I'd be more than happy to help you. Okay, so again, though, you're using the blank template to fill in and using the topic that you chose. So whether you're writing about school uniforms, whether you're writing about how backpacks should be allowed in middle school, or if you agree or disagree with year-long schooling, that's what you would be completing this graphic organizer talking about. Okay. So back to the weekly plan. So right now you are listening to me, you're learning about what you should be doing and how you should be doing it. The example graphic organizer will be attached in this assignment so you can reference it, just not in the video. And then the next 3 days, you're going to start tackling the graphic organizer on your own and breaking it up if you need to, or if you want to fill it out all at one time, that is up to you. Just make sure you submit it by Friday, the 29th. Okay? All right. I hope this was clear. I hope this was helpful. Again, please feel free to reach out with any questions or concerns. Talk to you soon.